For some of you guys, open enrollment has just started. For some of you guys, it's just around the corner. Here's the harsh truths about open enrollment that you need to know so you don't mess this up. For some of you guys, it might be your first open enrollment. For some of you guys, you might be going on year 8, 9, 10. The fact of the matter is, this is supposed to be the busiest time of the year for insurance agents. But for most agents, it can be very chaotic. You're working a lot of hours, you're chasing a lot of inbound leads, you're missing follow-ups, and you have zero time to breathe. A lot of times you're doing a lot in that moment, but it's not necessarily productive, it's surviving. And there's people outwriting you, outworking you, and are much more efficient than you. So here are some things to consider when you are going into your first open enrollment. There is nothing that will ever prepare you enough than your first open enrollment. Even for me, when I first started, everyone all year hypes up open enrollment to be exactly what it ends up being, which is the biggest time of the year, busiest leads, people just pick up and they're ready to buy. But the reality of it is, if you're not preparing 3 months, 4 months prior, open enrollment for those that are really successful in the business really starts in August, right? With saving those leads. And even prior to that, you're saving those leads. You are warming up those follow-ups. Where you do hit the 1st of November, you know exactly the list of leads that you're going to be reaching out to, and you know exactly who's going to be interested in. And sometimes it's just an application that you have to submit. That is sometimes what separates the average producers and the mediocre producers versus the ones that are making $15,000, $20,000 in commissions their first week. And so the first thing that I would say is nothing will prepare you like your first open enrollment. The second thing that I'll say and add to that is, do not ever compare your open enrollment with someone else's. Comparison is the thief of joy. You do that a lot when you're early in the business, when you're your first year, second year, and you're looking at people that are clearing $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 their first week in open enrollment, and you might be clearing 3 to 5, right? Not terrible income by any means, right? That's very good income, but it's not what you're seeing at the top of the boards or wondering, scratching your head, like, how can I get to that point? How can I make the level of commissions that they are? Stop comparing yourself to these producers. You will scratch your head. The main reason I'm saying this is because if you maximize what you are doing and focus on what you are doing and maximize that to the fullest ability, it won't matter what anyone else is doing. Of course, the guy that's been in business longer than you has a larger book of business. He has more money to spend, and he's going to have more leads coming his way. So, of course, he's going to be at the top. Or maybe they're in a leadership role, and a lot of that is the overhead of the team that they're managing, right? You don't see what goes into that. The comparison of what someone else's numbers are, it's good if you're a competitive type of person, but 9 times out of 10, you're psyching yourself out because you're just going to be disappointed in the check that you do get, even if it is the highest check that you've received up to that point. The next thing that I'll say, yes, you are going to work more hours. No, that does not mean you're working nonstop. The only difference with open enrollment is you're just going to have more inbound leads to handle. There's nothing else that's special about that. And so if you're not able to handle 50 leads a week, right? Now, if you get 500 leads a week, you're going to be all over the place, right? Follow-ups, calling them, appointments, quotes, everything that you need with regards to your pipeline, you're not going to know how to manage it. So that's why when I say open enrollment and preparation for open enrollment started 4 months ago, it's exactly that. You're mastering your scripts. You're learning exactly how to overcome every single objection so that you're not learning about that in real time. Like I mentioned to you guys, I was an insurance agent before I jumped and started leading a team. And the one thing I will tell you is that when you are writing, when you are putting in business, and when you are getting referrals, your organization needs to be top tier. There's going to be times where the volume, if you're doing it the right way, is so much. Sometimes you'll double book an appointment. This is the opportunity where if there is an agent around you that is struggling, right? You're not going to be able to close. You can try and reschedule them if they need to put the policy right then and there. But if you see someone else that is struggling within your agency, when I was an insurance agent, I'd have double booked appointments. I would hand over the appointments a lot of times to agents that maybe didn't have an appointment at that time. And it would reciprocate, because there would be days that their calendars are booked and they can't handle one, and they'll send it my way. And that's just an extra way if you have an accountability partner within your agency, or if it's just maybe your upline, whoever that might be, reach out and say, hey, look, man, if you've already built that relationship, I wouldn't start doing that in open enrollment. If you are able to develop that relationship that quickly, then great. But normally someone that you've had, a connection with, throughout the tenure of your company. In addition, the last thing I would say, the harsh truth, is that it's not about how good your pitch is during that time. It's how efficient you can get it to be. How quickly can you explain the product, what it comes with, what they're expected to get, why it's going to benefit them, how much it costs, and how to get them approved, right? How are you going to be able to concise that in every 15 to 30 minutes? And if they don't buy, mentally reframe and get on to the next call ready to close them. That's going to be something that the more that you do it, it's like a muscle, right? The more you're ripping calls, the more you're closing deals, the easier it's going to be for you. But in the very beginning, that is something that is going to be a struggle for you guys as well. If you guys like this type of content, again, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be dropping a few more of these type of videos for open enrollment for those of you guys that might be interested. If you guys do have any questions, or you guys want to work with me directly for your insurance business, go ahead and click the first link in the description down below. It'll tell you everything you need to know about Freedom Code and how we help create six-figure insurance agents in the life and health insurance business. I appreciate you guys for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon.